Our next speaker is, and I screwed this up yesterday, I'll try not to do it again, is Ben Blachnitzky. He's the Director of Development at Metaio. Ben has been augmented reality ever since he joined Metaio 9 years ago. After working for 7 years at the headquarters in Munich, he came out over to lead the development of the California office of Metaio. Ben holds an MS in Computer Science and Digital Media from Furtwagen University in Germany. Take it away, Ben.
Thanks, Patrick. I was just applauding Patrick because yesterday he almost died trying to pronounce my last name. He was starting to cough, and yeah, so he did a good job today. Hello, everyone. I'm glad to see you guys. I'm here to talk about the Metaio SDK developed by the Metaio company. I've been with the Metaio company for about 9 years and exists even longer. And there's more than just me. There's about more than 100 people working for Metaio. You see a bunch of them. Actually, I don't know who the guy is in the right bottom corner. I just grabbed that slide from a marketing presentation, but I know the other people. They're all real and great people, passionate about AR, passionate about driving AR, developing tool sets and our SDK to enable other developers to drive AR, passionate about developing projects, experiences ourselves in augmented reality. So it's a good crowd of people, and as I said, we've been around for 10 years, more than 10 years now, and together with our friends from Total Immersion, I think we're the longest running AR companies, and some people call us the dinosaurs of the industry, which is, I don't know if it's a compliment, because it's not it's a cool animal, but we're not that. It's like we're alive and kicking and very much excited about where AR is, where it's going, and we're still trying to be cutting edge and moving forward with it. And having said that, I think this is one of the big, talking about the benefits of our SDK, I think this is a big point that we have that experience that we are a research company basically. We started about 10 years ago in the research field, so we've built everything from the ground up. So everything that you get with our SDK, with our software, it's done by our engineers. It's developed in-house and over the course of a very long time and refined over that time, of course. So to go into a few of the key benefits of our SDK, with our SDK you get image and object recognition. So you have tracking for flat photos, printouts, but also you can track any 3D object, any small object, a toy, anything you can put on a table, but also large scale. You can a whole house, a whole front, a whole market square is we're able to track with the SDK. Another key benefit, I would say, is that we also ship our own rendering engine with the SDK. So we also have the option to use Unity. You get a plugin for Unity with our SDK as well. So if you want all the fancy particle effects, which are awesome in Unity, you can use Unity. But there are other cases where you want a lightweight app and you might not even want to develop in Unity because it can be a pain with developing GUI interactions. You can use our own powerful rendering engine that comes and ships with the SDK. Another key benefit is that we're cross-platform. So the SDK functions that you learn, you can use them to make your Android application, your iOS application, and you can even deploy to desktop, Mac, and Windows applications. Another benefit is the flexible app licensing. So we really try to have an SDK that fits everyone's needs. So the developer who wants a free SDK, who just wants to take it away and develop and doesn't want to spend money but still wants to get into AR, see what it's all about and what you can do with it, we give away our SDK for free. And you can make a commercial application with that. You can become stinking rich with our SDK, and we're fine. We just want a piece of that glory and put a small watermark in there. And if you don't want that small watermark, then we want a bit of money as well, but it's very flexible, and there's two versions. There's a pro version, a basic version. If you don't need the 3D tracking capabilities, then you can get the basic version. If you want the great 3D tracking and SLAM tracking, then you would need the pro version. Another really good benefit is our support for developers. And we've built over the last 2 years, we've built up an extensive portal on our website that is focused on the developer community. And you will find all the tutorials there. Our SDK, when you open it up, what you get is right away a bunch of tutorials showing you the most important steps, use cases, what you want to do with an augmented reality applications. And these are all explained also on the portal. You will find videos there, webinars. We run webinars almost every week, every second week, showing developers out there how to do things step by step. And you will find those videos on there as well. And we have an help desk with lots of QA and lots of people participating, lots of our own developers taking the time and not only answering questions, but only if we find out something a great new trick how to use our SDK or create a great new AR experience. We share that as well on the help desk for others to see. So I think that's one of the where we benefit in developing our own SDK, because, as I said, we're passionate about developing core technology to enable AR scenarios, but we also use our own technology to create those experiences. So this is where we actually can give internal feedback from our developers who develop experiences with our SDK, direct feedback to the teams, the research teams that develop the core algorithms and the SDK. And this is where we get the immediate feedback, and also from the help desk we gather all the feedback we get from developers out there. And we're very fast in adapting and making those feature requests into actual features. And actually, as of yesterday, we released a new version of our SDK, version 4.5, a new version of our authoring tool as well. So we don't wait long. If there's enough feature requests, we have a pipeline where we put them in and we come out with the next version right away. The next version is following up in October. So if any one of you has any feature requests, put them in as soon as possible, because it's a growing pipeline. To show you briefly how the SDK is built up. So as I said, cross-platform. So we have native support for iOS, Android, and also Windows. On top of that, you will find our SDK. In our SDK, as I said, all the code, all the algorithms, it's developed internally. So you find all those modules taking care of computer vision, all wrapped up inside the SDK. You don't need to know any of that mathematical magic. All you need to do is access those functions via the interfaces. And we have platform-specific interfaces for Android, iOS, and Windows. And you will also see there's one word up there, RL, and which appears in all three of those categories on Android and iOS and Windows. And we'll come back to that in a little while. And then on top of that, your application resides. Here's a brief overview of the cross-platform capability. So our SDK, in the center, C++ libraries wrapped, native development on the left side to iOS, native development on Android. So essentially, you get libraries, you get actually projects, you can templates you can start right away with once you download the SDK. You can also natively develop for the Windows desktop platform. And the other option, of course, you have if you want to use Unity, if you're a Unity developer, or you want to use the advanced 3D particle effects, things like that. In Unity, of course, you can use our Unity plugin and then deploy to iOS, Android, and Mac and Windows. On the delivery side, we also have a cloud service which enables you to host all the content on our servers. What is the benefit of that? If you think about the submission process for the App Store, it's very clear in some cases where you have a magazine that you update continuously, it would be a pain to every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks to submit a new application. So what you can do is submit a shell application and then host all the AR scenario in our cloud. Or if you have an existing application and you just want to boost it with an AR part, you can use our cloud connection and our cloud services to do that. On the tracking technologies, we have, of course, the non-optical tracking capabilities using the sensors. On the 2D tracking side, we have the classic ID markers, picture markers which are very robust, and then, of course, the natural feature tracking, which means any kind of printout photo, flat, magazine, poster, things like that. And we also have advanced picture detection, or what we call continuous visual search option. There you have two. So to explain briefly, the difference between picture detection and tracking. Detection means you recognize an image and then you can do one thing: start a video, open a web page. Tracking means detecting the picture, but then also getting a camera pose for that. And only tracking enables you to actually glue a 3D object a virtual object on the real object. So here with the visual search, this actually means recognition. So you can host packages of tens of thousands of pictures on our servers. And this enables you to detect those images in your application. But here a trick comes in. Once you detect it, we actually grab that image that was detected and use that internally, do an instant tracking, and you can actually use it as your tracking image as well. So it's detection and tracking at the same time, which is pretty cool. On the 3D tracking side, this is something we're very proud of, our 3D tracking technologies. We have two different modes. We got the precise tracking, where it's really important if you want to overlay something very accurately. There, you set up your scene together with markers that you take later away and get a very accurate scaling and positioning of your models in your 3D space. We also have our own SLAM approach, where for a game where you want to play something temporarily inside your environments, then you can use that approach. On the content side, we of course support text and images in 3D space, also movie textures, which is a big thing. We support transparent movie textures. It seems like a small thing, but actually lots of people, they don't develop they don't have their 3D content. What you can do is you have a movie texture with a green screen, key that out, and you can have nice fire effects, things like that, without actually having to model, which is really nice. And of course, 3D models, we support all the common formats. We have a reflection shader and a diffuse shader in our native renderer, and of course, on the Unity side, you get all the Unity fancy stuff. Getting started, just go to the developer portal, download the SDK, and yeah, you're in. I want to briefly introduce you to two good friends of the Metaio SDK. We got the Toolbox application, which is an iOS application for free, available on the App Store. This enables you to do together those 3D point clouds that I just mentioned with the 3D tracking and the SLAM tracking. The other good friend of the Metaio SDK is the Metaio Creator. And the Metaio Creator, that's our authoring tool. So this allows you to very easily create fast AR experiences through drag and drop functionality. And there's a one-click deployment where you can deploy to your iOS site, you can deploy to Android, to standalone Mac application, and to standalone Windows application. And this is done by RL, which is our augmented reality experience language. Essentially what it is, it's a layer on top of the SDK, a JavaScript layer, so anyone who is into web development could use that. And on top of our SDK layer, you have an HTML5 layer where you can place all your GUI. We have the JavaScript bridge in between, and then your content is defined via XML. And this all makes up RL. And this is amazing because this you define one time and you deploy it to each of the platforms, iOS, Android, Windows, Mac, without having to do anything specific for any of those platforms. And coming back to that slide here, there you can see, so if you're a native developer, go for the native development. If you don't want to develop native, or you know JavaScript very well, use RL, and you can deploy your application to all those different platforms we offer. And you can see that, again, the creator here on the authoring side takes that place where it grabs all your content, 3D maps or images, videos, anything, merges that together, and then deploys it to each of those platforms. And just to briefly show this is the interface. And just to show you quickly a 3D map, because I love looking at them, and I want to show them. So this is here. You see, this is a 3D map that was created with that Toolbox application, with the first good friend of the Metaio SDK. And here you can visualize that 3D point cloud. And then, of course, you want to populate it with 3D content. So here I place this guy in here in the scene. And then we have a UI designer here where you can drop these RL GUI overlays on top, and then you have buttons and all kinds of things. And then is the big magic: create an app, and yeah, you can see you have the option to go to Android, go to Xcode, or export an RL package. And my colleague Jacob, he's going to show in the next session here. I don't know which room, but he's going to talk about the creator more in depth and really check this out, because the new version is very amazing. You get an instant preview, camera preview, where you can directly through your webcam test out your tracking targets. So this is very, very cool, the new function. So either check out my colleague Jacob's talk or drop by at our booth, and we're happy to show you guys how it works in the real world. Just 3 very brief slides. We have a developer contest because because it's amazing. It's 4 different contests. They run until August, and you guys can win on the flight to Munich, participate in our Inside AR conference, and yeah, we fly you over there, you get to the conference, and it's happening around Oktoberfest time, which is also, you might extend your stay. Yeah, it's started already, but it's never too late to sign up, so it's just running until August 15th, so yeah. I would love to take part, actually. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to from the company. Another thing I want to mention briefly, throughout AWE, throughout those days here, our software products are discounted 15%, so 15%. So if you want that, if you want our software, now's the time to get it. And yeah, as I said, we also have our in-house conference happening each year in October. And this year you can go there for free if you win the developer contest. Good luck for that.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you.
I think we've run out of time, but I mean, I guess if anyone wants to stay into the break and ask Ben a question or two.
Yeah, I'll be around. And of course, we have, in the exhibition hall, we have a booth as well. So feel free to drop by, and we show our tools live, and you can try them out.